Good morning. Good morning. I am feeling how unique and special it is to be together today. I'm grateful for this opportunity, for the hugs in the room, to look you in the eye, to feel your smiles under our masks. If you want to just take a minute with me, let's really land together. Let's just take a breath, maybe stretch if you want to help with that digestion that's happening or coming. Let's really settle in to being here for just a few more minutes. As I was preparing to be with you today, I set an intention of connection. This pandemic saw the closing of the community art space that I run downtown, Collaborate. We've just inched our way towards reopening the last few months, and I have felt the pull of wanting to be with others, with neighbors, with friends, who are all working so hard to love and care for this community. I loved the graphic images that this event used of circles. Circles have been on my mind a lot over the last 18 months as we've moved through the pandemic, racial justice uprisings, triumphs and struggles, both publicly and ones inside our home that no one may ever know. In the pandemic, particularly at the beginning, I was thinking back to the beginning of the pandemic, I felt so many circles of care and community that I had worked hard to build just burst. And this fear of, will those circles ever come back together again? Elements of circles that I felt were solid, melted underneath the weight of multiple crises. Of our bodies, of our spirits, of our race, of our class, of our gender, and so many other elements of our lives. So many people who identify as women were at the heart of these crises, holding out our hands to hold each other and catching parts of our community as they fell. I researched facts and figures of the impact of pandemic on people who identify as women, and I just decided not to share those here today. They are woefully inadequate to honor the grief of the circles that have been broken. In the racial justice uprisings that are still going on, I felt hope of new circles coming together. I also felt frustration at realizing how many people did not know of the struggles of racial injustice, feeling the weight of ignorance and invisibility as racial injustice in our country came to the forefront of many people's minds. We had our safety broken or threatened, and it still is. We had the fact that many of us have never been safe laid bare. Today is a day to look at each other, to stop and remember and affirm, you are not alone. You are not alone. We can just take a minute and breathe that in with everybody at our table. You are not alone. Coming together in community is a time to open ourselves to these feelings of joy, of grief, of anger, of hope, to digest them, to metabolize them, and to mend our circles, to build new ones, to build bridges between our circles. Feminism calls us into mending those circles. Several years ago, I started asking Kim Simmons, a professor and friend, to sit with me and speak to me of women's freedom. I had spent some time thinking about feminism, but I had really kind of imbibed a lot of the patriarchy of, oh, that's not for me, that's for other people. That's for rich people or those people over there. So I said to Kim, talk to me about women's freedom. And Kim spoke choice into my heart. Kim talked about feminism as the invitation to choice. To choose how we live our lives, how we move in our bodies, how we build our communities. The practice of choice is one antidote to our grief, anger, and loss during this time. Choice is a way to rebuild, renew, restore, and refresh our circles. In the first few months of the pandemic, I felt I had no choices. The racial justice uprising, the creativity and laughter of close friends, the chance to sit and pray helped me to see I do have choices and find the courage to make them. What choices are in front of you today? For your well-being, for your freedom, for your power. How can other people in this very room start by being a part of your circle to bring forth those choices for you? What circles do you want to mend? What circles do you want to grow? What circles have you not dared to build before, but now is the time? You can take a moment with me and just look around the room. You can take a moment to own your power in your own seat, to notice the gifts you've brought into the room with you today, and to think about the choices you want to make as you leave this afternoon. Today we are here to honor the choices of 4 beautiful neighbors in our community. Our Zamzam, our Lane, our Zamzam, and our Elise. Bright lights of what is possible when we make choices to claim our power and use it for the good of our community. Let's take a couple breaths in and hold all 4 of them in this room in gratitude and care. In the few weeks leading up to this event, I wanted to choose to spend time with them, to start building a circle of gratitude for each of them. When I sat with them, after we shared that gratitude, I got to hear stories. I got to hear courage and reflections that were so inspiring. And I wanted to close today by sharing some of what I heard. One awardee laughed and said to me, "How do you get an award for something in your heart?" Oh, yeah. Isn't that such a reflection of the light they bring into our community? Yeah. One awardee spoke to me of the power of listening, of the lessons and wisdom she had learned from generations of her family, bringing her to this moment, and how listening had served her in learning. One awardee invited me not to apologize for what I had to do as a mom, as a business owner, as a neighbor, to survive and make it. She said, "Don't apologize. Look around us and see all of the heroes in our community who are standing up with courage." And another spoke to me of this community as a blessing, of this community as a sacred gift that we have the honor to steward and to grow together. And I'll leave you with that, a beautiful image of our sacred community, with honor and thanks for everyone helping us stay strong. Thank you.